Hey, it's really easy to give a quote to a client whereby you go, hey, your website's going to cost $20,000. Probably not, but it's going to cost $20,000. And if the client finds the price too high, they're going to run a mile. You'll never hear from them again. You'll be ghosted, right? There's no point chasing. But if you give them a breakdown, and this is something I speak about a lot in terms of transparency of costing, you can allow the client to pick and choose. Now, obviously, you're going to make clear what they must have and what might be a desirable option. It's up to them if they go for it. Are there any dependencies like you can't have this without that as well? But if you make that clear and let them pick and choose, if the price is too high, they might go, okay, can we leave that, and that out? And that brings the price down. And if they start to do that and now they kind of go, well, this price is better, you're kind of leading them into this new price as well. I'm not saying you're forcing them. I'm not saying you're overpricing on purpose. I'm not saying, mislead them. No, none of that. Be really honest and transparent. But I want to go over an example of that right now. So this is a real live case, okay? And these are real costs taken from a quote that I did, what was it, about 5 days ago, I think? So we had a client, potential client, they wanted basically a new website. And this website was going to be selling courses and selling products. I'm not going to name what niche it was, but they offer services and they now want to be online, basically. They've done Facebook and Instagram and all of that, but they now need to have a website. Mainly because a lot of their competition have websites, and a lot of people are not going to find this person on Google because they're not really out on there. They're just not out there. And also what they wanted to do was integrate with Zoom, thereby when they sell a course or a product that allows people to join like a live chat where they might be doing something. And by the way, this is not one of those adult sites, okay? Because I know you're all sitting there thinking, oh, what are we talking about here? No. They offer a service, okay? People join in and they have group sessions and where they train them how to do stuff. But they like to do a lot of it via video because there's only so much you can do via PDF and online text. And they also want to have it integrated into MailerLite and stuff like that, so that when someone buys a course or joins or whatever like that, it adds their details to a subscription list, and then they can use that to send out newsletters or details about their various products. And lo and behold, this is the price I came up with, which a lot of you are probably falling off your chair as well. I mean, that roughly goes from £5,000 to about $6,000, just over, I think, ish. And I know a lot of you are going, what? For a basic site, selling courses and products and Zoom and all of this sort of stuff? Like, what the heck are you doing? Let me now break it down, because when I go to the client with that cost, I did not just give them that cost. I gave them that cost at the end, but I make very clear at the top, here are the items that I think you need, but if you want to pick and choose to modify the final cost, I will let you do that and we can discuss that further. So here's the breakdown. What have we got over here? First one was transferring the domain to an alternate host. They'd already started building their website on Wix, and I think they realized that, no, this ain't going to work. Anyone out there that goes with these inbuilt infrastructure, websites, you can only do so much. And then when you realize you want to do a bit more, you either got to pay a lot more or it just starts to become a mess because we don't have the intelligence out there. WordPress, hundreds of thousands of developers. Go into any room and say, hey, who's an expert in Squarespace? And you might have one or two hands come up, but you'll have loads more for WordPress, and that's just the fact of life. So there was a cost attached to that. I put it down at £60. Now you might go, well, £60 quite a bit. Think about the value of your time. If you want a 1 hour consultation with me, a video call where we're going to go over your problems, and I might not have all the solutions, but we're going to talk it out and try and experiment with how to solve it. Or maybe it's to review your website. Or maybe it's just to give you brainstorming about what to do, right? That's £120 per hour. And again, you might say, that's a lot of money, is it? Compare that to lawyers and other professions out there, okay? If you were to have your windows cleaned, which I do in our house, they charge me £35 and they're only here for 15 minutes. So £120 for a 1 hour consultation. I've averaged that out to be probably 30 minutes worth of work, going into their domain, doing the DNS name server changes, maybe a few other spot checks as well. £60, okay? What about setting up the WordPress installation? I've also put that down to 30 minutes. Again, I could bring that down or maybe even go higher, but I'm putting a price in. By doing that, I'm letting the client know that, look, you can do that yourself if you want. I won't do the transfer. You're going to sort out your own host. I've made recommendations. This is where I think you should go. You can do it yourself. You can also do the WordPress installation yourself and save yourself the money. But if you get me to do it, you're going to have to pay for it. Now, let's say we're using Elementor on their website and we're setting up their global colors and their global fonts. There's a £60 charge for that. If they don't know their colors and they don't know what they want to go for, luckily this client did, but if they did not know what they want, and I'm going to have to do a bit of investigation and back and forth with the color palette, that cost will go up. If we end up spending 2 hours on it, that's probably going to go up to about 180 or 240, depending on how nice I am. Because if you start giving away things for free, you will do it. You will spend a whole day just going back and forth with, what about this image? And what about this color and X, Y, Z? That's a whole day of your life gone. Our minimum day rate is £920. I'm not giving you £920 of my time for free unless I know it's a guaranteed job. Because what if there is no guarantee? What if you haven't accepted a deposit yet? What are you doing to yourself? This is your time. Make it work for you. The next thing we got is the homepage. And that includes a revision. And by the way, make very clear what the revision is. The revision will be, this is what we're doing. And now if we need to just rearrange a few things. And then you have a tweak, which is the final, the ticks. Just polish it all off now. Make clear that the revision isn't right. We built your website and now we're going to completely revise it. We're going to start again from scratch. No. That again is a separate cost, but I'm saying that if we have like a wireframe or a scribble and we know what we're going for, and that includes one revision and one tweak, £480. I'm making it crystal clear for you right there, okay? If you don't want the revision and the tweak and you just want to go in with one draft and that's all we go for, maybe they want me to do the initial draft and then they're going to work on it themselves. Fine, I'll drop the price down. It won't come down a lot though, it'll go from 480 to 360. It won't be groundbreaking reductions, but there will be a reduction. So let the client decide on what they want to go for. But assuming they go for the revision and the tweak, it's 480. Every other page for this website was potentially going to be 4 other pages. You've got the home page and 4 other pages. Every other page is £240 per page. The reason why it's not 480, even though it includes a revision and a tweak per page as well, is because once you got the home page signed off, every other page is kind of an iteration of the home page. You kind of take the same page and then you tweak it to work for the content of the new page, right? You know what your padding is, your margins are, you know what your headings are, you know what the kind of look and feel is. Right, now you slightly tweak and rework it. When I say slightly tweak, I don't want anyone out there to go, wow, you make it sound like it's a 1-second job. No, there is a bit of work required, but it doesn't deserve to be priced at 480, so 240. And there's 4 pages, and you can see there that totals up to 960 for the 4 extra pages. Now we have a course page. Now, this person might have had 3 courses. Every course page is slightly different from the other pages, and this is where you're now almost selling the benefits of the course. Hey, you got this problem, you want to join this course, this is going to help you out, testimonials, join here and all of that. £360 per page, 3 of them, and you got the cost over there. Again, that includes the revision and the tweak. If they're going to want to do the revision and tweak themselves, fine, you reduce the cost. That might go from 360 to 240 per page. Right? So they can make a saving, but then they can't come back to you once you've done it to revise it. Or maybe they want you just to set up one page and they'll do all the others themselves. Fine, then we only charge you for one of them and you can do the other 2 courses yourself. But you're making it clear to them, here's the breakdown. You pick and choose what you want. So if the cost is too high, don't start bartering and going, oh, well, can we halve it? Can we knock 20% off? 20% off what? Okay, so make that clear to them. Then we've got to add in WooCommerce because we're selling some products. So the installation for that, doing the settings, working through any of the details is going to come to 480. What about adding the products? So there was going to be about 4 products. If we're going to do it, it's £40 per product. But they must supply back to me the images and the description. If I have to now go and create some images of people doing, I don't know, meditation, let's say this is what the website was about, or the description of the products, all we have is a title, but we don't have a description, and I've got to now think and make it sound really good for them, that cost will jump up. It might now turn into £120, maybe even more per product, to get them to do the homework. Or instead of you doing 4 of them, which comes to £160, you do 1 of them and they pay 40, and then they duplicate and copy and modify the rest of them. Make it clear. And if it's 20 products, the price goes up, right? Don't say to someone, yeah, we'll do your WooCommerce shop. Yeah, we'll do your products. Yeah, when they give you 1,000 products, right, I'm pretty sure you're going to look back and go, I built your entire website for $50. That was a bit of a mistake at a maker. So have a think about that. Restricting content. So when you buy a product, you can't access the course page until you've bought a product. There's a really good plugin for that. And a video on that, restrict content plugin. It's super, super good. Go watch the video. That is going to cost £120. There's not a huge amount of work required, but there is still a cost attached to me installing the plugin and doing the settings for it and then making it work for all of your products. Again, how many times do we just install plugins, spend sometimes 2 or 3 hours working through, all the different variables of it, testing things out, making sure it works back and forth. Yep, that does what it's meant to do, but there was no cost to it. Now, you could argue, well, the client paid for the plugin, but you're the one installing it, maybe even contacting the developer, going onto a forum. Oh, I did this and that didn't work. That is your time. So if I'm now installing extra plugins and I've got to work it through the system, there is a cost attached to that. And if you don't want that restrict content plugin because you don't want to restrict it because you're going to do something else, fine. We take that cost off. What about setting up your payment gateways? Now, we're going to do 2 of them, PayPal and Stripe. There's a cost of £120 for PayPal and £120 for Stripe. And I know a lot of you are going to go, whoa, it don't take that long. Really? It can take long. How do you know it's not going to take long? How do you know that when you set them up, you're now not going to go, oh, you need a business account. Now we've got to get that in motion. Oh, you need a Stripe account, but now we need to go and do the verification and evidence and whatever we need to do for Stripe to get that through. The Stripe might take 2 or 3 days because it needs to go for approval. The PayPal might take 2 days and you're logging back in and checking things again. My time is 1 hour, £120. I'm charging you for 1 hour time. It might go over, but I'll have to absorb that. But I am not going to do your payment gateways for free. Remember, it's your time. You're setting this up, okay? You have the build cost and you have all the additional costs that come along with it. Integrate with MailerLite. I've put £120 there for that, okay? Because obviously they'd have to set up their account, or we could set one up for them and then let them manage it, set up their group, do the API. And again, it doesn't take a huge amount of time, but you got to factor in a little bit of risk, okay? What if there's a little bit of an issue? What if you need to now brainstorm and problem solve? If you just assume everything works smoothly and brilliantly, you've not been in the game long enough. I'll tell you now, if you think that every domain and host and website build is just like boop, 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 don't believe the hype. Don't believe all the adverts you see out there going, hey, you can build a website in 30 minutes. Yeah, they're just installing a theme, for God's sake, right? But just installing like a pre-built theme like Storefront and go, hey, your website's built. Nah, it's a bit more than that, okay? So don't assume things always go tickety-boo. Rank Math. No, I've put 360. Some people have already said that's pretty high. Well, it's installing Rank Math. It's then going through all the settings. There might be a bit of back and forth with the client with, are we going to index this or that? You might need to go back and fine-tune a few pieces as well. And I've put 360. And that is 3 hours time. And I'm telling you now, if you go through Rank Math properly, you can easily spend an hour or 2 setting it up with a little bit of time, maybe refining and tweaking things as well. Again, what is the value of your time? Now, I just want to quickly interject here and say that if you are based in other geographical locations in the world, these prices might be either too high or way too low. I don't know, it could be too high or too low. It's up to you. If it's too high, adjust it to work for you. So if your hourly rate, when you start to work it out, is, say, £20 an hour, or $20 an hour or whatever, you're going to adjust all these prices accordingly, right? So don't just take what I'm giving you, tweak it to work for your market, your niche area, or your geographical location, maybe even your type of client. I think you can pretty much tell here that I'm not going to be building websites for anyone who wants it for under £500, because that just would not be worth my time. So if you are attracting the low-cost market, like maybe Fiverr or those areas, this pricing model ain't going to work for you. So you're going to have to adjust your prices quite a bit. Whereas if you are going for a higher market, or you're working with businesses that have a preset budget, because they do have budgets, a lot of these businesses, you can go for the higher price bracket, but that's entirely up to you. Right, so rank math, we've done that, 360. Then it's the SEO, the keywords to the homepage. I've put down 120 for that. What about all the other pages? I've put down 120 per page as well. I've also included products. Let's say we got 4 pages and we're going to do some of the products. And I've just put 6 in there at the moment. Because just doing your SEO keywords on other pages ain't going to be enough. If you've got 20 products, you better do it for the products as well. So many people have a WooCommerce store and they completely bypass the fact of doing any rank math or any Yoast or any other plugin or tool that you use on terms of the search engine optimization. If you don't do it for your products, you are completely missing the trick here. Do you know how many times people search for items on Google? Oh, I want XYZ, and results pop up. Just by submitting your index with your products is okay. But if you really want to get yourself found on Google, you got to make sure you start sticking in keywords and pad out what you're doing on your damn products. Right, okay. The item after that is submit the indexing. Now, you could argue that, well, isn't that already part of your rank math? In a way, yes. But at the same time, if I need to now start submitting your console and setting up your analytics and all of that, I'm now going to need access to your Gmail account. Unless I wouldn't do it on my own, I'm going to need your Gmail account. So you got to get them to either allow you to be part of their account, which they can do, or you need their password to go through it. Then you might need to go through a verification process. You know, when you enter in the username and password, and then it says, right, now enter in the secret number that's been sent to you via text. Well, you don't have their phone. So now you get in touch with them and you go, can I have that number? 4 hours go by. And then you get the number and it's timed out. And you go, oh no, I've got to redo it. Then you ask them to resend the verification. And then you're waiting another hour for them to come back to you. You're like thinking, flipping heck, man, where are you? Now, if it's done really quick, that's fine. But again, I'm factoring in the time. And if they want to do it themselves, they can. We've got a video on rank map and setting up a lot of this. It's about 1 hour long. They can go and watch that video. They might, pause, play. That's fine. They might save themselves £360, maybe even £720 if they do the whole rank map installation. That's the solution I can give them. In fact, you can do that too. If they don't want to do it, if they don't want you to do it and they want to do it themselves, send them our rank map video. Let them do it. And if they screw up, if they mess up or it doesn't work and they're like, I'm not getting any results, and you've now got to go through, you charged them the same price. Just because they did it and now they want you to go and double check, you don't go in at a reduced price. You still go in at 360. You make that clear. That is the cost. So if you do it yourself, you save the money. But if you want me now to jump in because it's not giving you the results, it's not on analytics, we're not sure about the indexing, you're going to go through A to Z, all the steps again. So why should you reduce your cost? How does that work? It doesn't, right? So you look at other professions, they would not reduce their prices. And now underneath, I've got some further things that we might do. Let's say they want to do a lot of this stuff themselves and they want me to train them on how to do it. Fine, but it's £120 per hour. We will do a video call and it's the same as my consultation time. £120, I don't know, what's that? $150? I don't know, something like that. Discovery calls, which I talk about in other videos as well. Prior to when we set anything, prior to maybe even getting to this point of the quote, maybe it's the point where we're talking about the color palette, the branding, the look and style and feel of the website, what's their frustration, how are things going, that's £120 per hour as well. So if prior to us agreeing to this spec and quote or whatever we've got here, we need to have 3 discovery calls. That's £120 per discovery call. Okay, I'm not going to give away stuff for free. The first time we speak might be a quick 10-15 minute conversation. There's no charge. The minute we move into, right now, let's get down to the nitty gritty of what we need to be doing, there is a charge for it. And if people don't want to pay it and they don't want to work with us on the basis of it, I seriously don't care. I've moved past that point where I go, oh, I just lost a client. No, I prefer to go with clients that are serious about what they want to go for. And again, adjust these prices to work for you. I've mentioned earlier about wireframes and how, you might be working to that when you're doing your homepage and other pages. But if the client wants a lot more than just a scribble on a bit of paper or whatever like that, and they really want a pixel perfect design, fine, it's £920 per day. And if we end up spending 2 or 3 days going over designs, polishing things up, maybe even working with another designer, it's £920 per day. I don't shift from that. Even if they employ their own designer from Fiverr or wherever, and then they say to me, right, you need to now have a meeting with them, I'll be like, fine, is it a half-hour meet or an hour meeting? It's an hour meeting? Fine, it's £120 for that meeting. It is the same thing. It is still a discovery call, maybe just with someone else attached to the product. I hope I've done enough to demonstrate the transparency and the breakdown in costings, and a lot of you will not agree with my breakdown or how I've done it. And there's actually a few more things as well that I could have added in here. I've just gone for this at the moment because it encompasses a lot of what the client will understand as well. I'm not going to start mentioning stuff like the root HTML and all of that, just saying global colors and fonts, 60 is enough. We can batter out the exact sizes during that stages. And often when you're doing revisions and tweaks on websites, they might go, can we make that header a little bit smaller? Fine, you just quickly do it and it filters through to every other page and, etc. But by giving them a breakdown, they're going to understand what they're getting, or they could get. And if that 5,000 cost is suddenly making them weep and they want to get it down to 3,000, right, do the number crunching. What do you want and don't want? If they want it even lower, like let's say they came to you and said, I've only got £1,000. I cannot go over 1,000. Fine, I'll tell you what we'll do, okay? I'll send you a video. It's a pre-built video and you go watch it and work it out. Set up your WordPress, transfer your domain, okay? I'll send you a video for rank math as well. You can do all of that, okay? We will ensure that we don't go down like pixel perfect wireframing, okay? Keep the costs down. What we'll do for you is your homepage. We will set up one course page. We'll do one product as well. And we'll make sure that we sort out your WooCommerce as well. But your payment gateway, your rank math, all of your keywords, all the other courses, all the other products, all the other pages, you will do. And if we really, really need to do a 1-hour call, we'll make sure we cover that in the budget. So here's what we'll do for you, okay? We will do that for £880, and then we'll reserve £120 for the final video call where we go over quick training. That's your £1,000. If you don't use the video call, you've now got it for £880. But all we're going to do is build your homepage with no revision and no tweak. We do one course page. We install your WooCommerce and settings. We do your one product. After that, you can now go through and sort out everything else, your payment gateways, all of that. We'll send you a video on MailerLite. We'll send you a pre-built video we've already got on payment gateways. But if you hit any problems, you can go elsewhere and get someone else to look at it, and you can get it done cheaper. Don't you worry about that, okay? You don't have to work with us. You can go elsewhere. We even encourage you to go elsewhere because we want you to get the best you can for your business. But if you come back to us, that's the cost. And we won't deviate from that cost, okay? So stand your ground. Be very clear on what you're doing and what you're not doing. But you can tweak. I mean, I can, like I've just shown you, I could go from 5,000 down to £880 for them, plus another 120 for the final video, which takes it to £1,000. We can do that. Of course we can. We don't want you to be out of pocket. I want you to be a successful business that grows and scales up. So we have a long-term relationship and you refer clients back to me. But if you mess up or you suddenly realize, I can't do this. I ain't got time to do this. I'm messing it up. I can't do it. That's the cost. And if we do that, the homepage, and then they take over and then they mess up that homepage, I'm telling you now, they mess it up. We start again. You start at 480. I'm really sorry, but if they go and mess around with the hero banner and the layout and the mobile responsive mode, and suddenly the page speed performance has gone from 95 to 30, and now we're having to problem solve and go, well, it's because of this and it was because of that, and there's no point using the backup because what they want to see now has changed so much. You start again at 480. So you make the risk clear. What you don't do is go, look, any trouble, I'll jump back in and, don't worry, I'll do it free. Don't do things for free hoping that they'll come back to use you later. Because when you do things for free, they take advantage. I hope this makes clear. I hope it resonates with people. I'd love to see your comments and views over. Please don't comment on my costings because my costings won't be the same as your costings. I know some of you charge way more than this. And I know some of you that charge way less than this, but we all have our price points, okay? And what works for your market niche, where you live. Look, we're UK based, okay? But if you're based in America, it's probably going to be higher. If you're based in, say, Eastern Asian countries, it might be lower or thereabouts. I don't know. I'm not an expert in every geographical location, but I'm Imran Web Squadron. I hope you like, subscribe, share, and follow. And please, please, please fill up the comments because I really want to know about what you think and what your thoughts are and if you're going to try and put this into action and how it goes if you do put it into action. Take care. See you soon.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat.